All right, guys, thank you for joining me tonight. Appreciate it as always. Dan Phillips, thank you for the 5x5. Maria Jackson, I'm hanging in there. All right, so I guess Alaskan Prepper is doing well, right? Maria Jackson, is that what I'm getting? She left that comment on Rumble. All right. Let's get it on. Dan Phillips, Akol Prepper, Base, Kimberly, First, thank you for the 5x5. Ozark, Flown Girl, JF, Washman, Sarita, thank you for the 5x5. Evolving Media, Joe, Kathy, Raccoon, Maria, Ozark Negro, thank you for the 5x5. Tom, Our Life, Buffalo, Dobie, thank you for the 5x5. Nosha Dumbass, thank you for the Crackhead by Methhead. Cowboy, Patrice, Rhonda, thank you for the 5x5. Ed, what's going on? Eric, Paula, Groundhog, Mamacita, Jeep, Water, thank you for the 5x5. Mitch, Gregorio, PA, Mama Bear, thank you for the 5x5. Kathy, Ed, Ron, Woody. Incognito, thank you for the 5x5. Derek, Raven, Crow, City Prepper, Dog Walker, excuse me, thank you for the 5x5. Ken, King of Appalachia, thank you for the 5x5. And JF said something very sad. I don't know. Whatever. Winter Homestead said Rudy is hanging in there. All right, very good. Um, yeah, I spoke to him last week. He had personal issues, and I was hoping he would do an update. So that's good. All right, very good. Beef and chicken. Krista, thank you for the 5x5. Tris, thank you for the 5x5. American Viking. Jerry, Joseph, Dave, thank you for the 5x5. Prep Boys, Trapper Bob, thank you for the 5x5. For the doggies, thank you for the 5x5. And Woodard, dude, thank you for the 5x5. Brian, thank you for the 5x5. And I don't know how to say this one, but Rui Dwyer, thank you for the 5x5. That one's like a different language. Tiny Cactus and Michael are asking what 5x5 is. 1 second after, and Dante, thank you for the 5x5. Prep to Adapt, Joe 59, Maria Jackson, thank you for the 5x5. Raccoon Eyes, thank you for the 5x5 on Rumble. Appreciate it. Lost, an anonymous prepper, thank you for the 5x5. And 5x5, Tiny Cactus, and Michael means loud and clear. It's another way of saying loud and clear. So, all right, so let's get into it. That's good. He made an update video. Like I said, I spoke to him last week, and he was, we talked, and then that was it. I let him do, I didn't advise him do an updated video, but I was hoping he would, and he did. So good. Chris, and Chris, thank you for the 5x5. Harold, thank you for the 5x5. Shutdown by shutdown. Demonetized, thank you for that. But yeah. So anyway, tonight we're going to talk about something that happened in Vietnam. Some of you might notice already. Some of you don't, but this, I think, is just a kickoff to a lot of things that are coming. Now, granted, guys, a lot of the things that are headed our way that are pretty bad and will be bad, it will be nothing short of a nightmare when some of this stuff is kicked off. It's gonna. It seems like it's gonna take its time. I don't think it's gonna be like, in the movies. It seems like everything happens at once, right? All of the authoritarianism kind of lifestyle or ruling in the movies, it seems like it happens all at once, but in fact, it doesn't. And here in the United States, I think it's happening a lot slower than I originally thought. Right? I also think that what to do. Thank you for the 54 minutes. I also think that for us to completely comply to whatever their nonsense is, something big has to happen to catapult us to where they want us to be. Anyway, so with that, being that I see that coming, whatever that might be, that could be another Mr. 19 event, or that could be some cataclysmic event. It could be a curveball event that they just take advantage of, right? Charlie Kirk getting assassinated, for example, they took advantage of that situation to knock the voting down for the Epstein file, right? Coincidentally, they wanted to vote again, if I'm not mistaken, either this week or next week, but they shut the government down just in time so that they couldn't vote again on the Epstein files being released. And if they're shutting down governments for the Epstein file has to be pretty bad. But again, I don't know, for sure. I just think it's one hell of a coincidence. That's all. I don't believe in coincidences either. Uh, Chinese 61 missile, very concerning. Watchmen, was it somebody emailed me that, or somebody said that in the last live stream last week? I looked up Chinese 61, and I'm going to look it up again, but it didn't. Chinese's 61 missiles. Let's look it up. It's the DF-61, known as Dongfeng 61, is an intercontinental ballistic missile developed by the People Republic, developed by China. Jesus, people. The missile was publicly unveiled in 2025 China Victory Day. That was September the 3rd. Yeah, I heard about it. I don't. I heard that its capabilities are pretty impressive. That much I know. I heard about that a few days ago. It's an intercontinental ballistic missile that has it by far, if everything in that missile is true, that is possibly one of the best. I hate to say it this way, but one of the best missiles out there. Like on a scale of the best missile in the world, this one supposedly um, is the better one. They also came out 5 hours ago. They talked about an upgraded J-10 fighter jet. So they just announced that 5 hours ago. So that can't be good. Now, I want to get into the meat of that that missile. But the Chinese developed a next generation ICBM, including its successor, its successor to the DF-41 ICBM, as part of a large buildup of its nuclear deterrent arsenal. I love how they use the word deterrent in there. Okay. The DF-61 broadly in line, size wide, with the DF-41 using 16 wheel tells. I guess that's the transporter, but no hard details have yet emerged about it. And this article was 35 days ago, right? Yeah, just about 35 days ago, September 2nd. And they were talking about its capabilities, and it was quite concerning, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm pretty sure you guys can look it up and you'll see it for yourself. But again, it's like one of the better missiles out there. I hate to say it that way. But is anyone here aerospace engineer? Jim Patel. I don't think so. If there's an aerospace engineer watching this channel, I will be sorely impressed. But yeah, this thing has range. I know that the one, the not the red flag, but like this better features was its warhead capabilities. The amount of warheads that can disperse from this missile. I think that's what one of the worrying or concerning parts about that missile was, if I'm not mistaken. It was the amount of warheads that it can launch at any given time, and from all over the world. Like it could reach anywhere around the world in, they said 30 minutes. But this one supposedly carries 14, but I thought it carried more warheads than that. But anyway, again, we shall cross that bridge when we get to it, or rather, if we ever have to get to it. So anyway, guys, With all of the nightmare shit that's going on, there's a lot of things that are happening, and again, a lot of it's concerning and a lot of it's not concerning, right? I think that this stuff that we're going to start witnessing, we're going to have to adapt to, or we're going to have to fight. Those are our only two choices. Anything else, and I guess we're fooling ourselves. But what happened in Vietnam was pretty alarming and concerning because it was the way they pulled it off. Now, here in the United States, we are dragging our feet. Not, no, let me walk that back. They are implementing the digital ID buildup here a little bit at a time. Over there, they gave them January 1st, they told them that transactions would be restricted for unverified accounts. That was January 1st. July 1st, in Vietnam, that is, they corporate accounts that were not verified were suspended, and they had to be verified by way of biometrics. Now, September 1st, a month ago, full deactivations began on non compliant and long dormant accounts. 86 million bank accounts were deactivated in Vietnam September 1st. That's concerning. Okay. Maybe not. Maybe not. Whatever. That was rough. The digital ID is going to be implemented all over the world. It's what we do next is going to determine whether we're all in or we fight against it. Oliver Verando asks why I don't like Brooklyn. Because it's Brooklyn, dude. Just like Staten Island. Staten Island's the armpit of New York City. Brooklyn is like the navel of New York City. Whereas all historical shit, Manhattan and the Bronx. Queens is like the redheaded stepchild that no one really likes. Sue Clark, the digital ID started long before that. It was, and we just didn't realize it. A lot of the verification systems that are out there now are part of the digital ID. Um, the dog chipping thing, yes, you're right about that because they started with that, and then they chipped a family and like, fuck, man, I can't remember where. I want to say Wisconsin, somewhere like that, and they had a whole family chipped with sorry, RFID chips. Excuse me, RFID chips. They retrofitted the entire town for this family to do so, and then it was sort of like a hit. And this was probably 10, 15 years ago now, right? At least 10. And but before that, they were already getting people on board with the whole digital ID system, with the verification system they started developing on the internet. Um, and we didn't know it. We had no clue. And a lot of people did talk about digital ID before the internet was created. Again, back then you would have looked at them as whack jobs. And now they were like prophets. They are prophets. Laurie said Highbridge Pool was a toilet. Highbridge Pool is still a toilet. I don't know about was. My buddy the other day said, over the summer they went to the High Bridge. I'm like, you went where? He goes, yeah, man, we went to the High Bridge Pool to cool off. I'm like, I'd rather roll around in dog shit than go to the High Bridge Pool. Don't get me started. That place was always a cesspool. Never liked it. Um, and the last time I was in that pool, we climbed over a greasy fence to get into that pool. And that was a kid. That was like 30 something years ago. I'll never go in that pool. I could be melting on the street corner. And they're like, you want to go to High Bridge? I'd rather not. I'd really rather not. But anyway, um, surprised somebody brought that up. High Bridge pool. Cesspools. Always a cesspool. Any city pool is a cesspool. Yes, Ed Lee, we're talking about the digital ID tonight. Now, September 1st, Vietnamese commercial banks began deactivating over 86 million bank accounts that did not comply with their new biometric verification rules. Now, 86 million bank accounts doesn't mean 86 million people. It means 86 million bank accounts. Some people, for whatever reason, I do too, have more than one bank account, right? So that's where it is. It's well over a few million people, that's for sure. I just don't know how many people were directly affected by this. Tapped line, thank you for the donation. Appreciate it as always. So the move was ordered by the State Bank of Vietnam as the data cleansing revolution to fight cybercrime and fraud. This is another nonsense that they're going to use. They're going to tell us that the digital ID is for our safety and to combat fraud. Fraud is always going to exist. Always. There's nothing you're going to do about it. Digital ID, I think, is going to make it easier for fraud. I think so. Especially when these guys figure out how to get around it, because they will. Hackers are good. Hackers get around everything. Every computer system that was ever created, every program that was ever created, every last one of them, up until a few years ago, they were like, we are hacker proof. They can't hack into our system. With that, you just challenge half of the hacker community, if not all of them. And they go, fucking bet, right? Challenge accepted. And what do? They hack into these systems. So there's no such thing as a hacker proof anything. These people will hack just about anything. They hack shit all the time. They hack the government's database on a constant basis. Now you have AI that just entered the arena, and AI has been helping hackers hack shit a lot faster. So yeah, um, this shit about fighting cybercrime and fraud and keeping your money safe, it's all bullshit. I've never heard such bullshit than this. I mean, there's a lot of bullshit we've been hearing. You know, like Tyler Robbins killed what's his name, Charlie Kirk. Okay, you know, like I tell people all the time at the firehouse, people are like, if you don't think it was Charlie Kirk, if you don't think it was Tyler Robbins, then who was it? I'm like, Israel, easy. That's an easy one. If it was conspiracy theory Jeopardy, I think I would win that. I think a lot of us would win conspiracy theory Jeopardy, just because. And now, like Israel is gone into this blitz, if you will, with trying to propagandize us into believing now that the Chinese off Charlie Kirk. That was a new one. I said, wait, what? I almost fell out of my chair. I said, first of all, right after Charlie Kirk was murked, Benjamin Netanyahu said it was Muslims. Didn't say who, blanket Muslims. We knew he was lying when he said that. But then some lady who works with Israel, I guess, stated it was, no, sorry, she didn't work with Israel. I think she was an American politician that was bought out by AIPAC that sat there in front of a camera and lied to the American people and said it was the Chinese, and here's why. And she came up with the world's worst. I know retards that can come up with better excuses than this lady did. I sat there, watched this video. I got maybe 2, 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes into what she was saying and was like, nope. I was out. I was like, there's no way now we're trying to shift blame into the Chinese. And you can blame the Chinese because you know that we're not going to do anything about the Chinese. So I find that portion very, very interesting. That they're trying to blame the Chinese now. And listen, we all know who it was. Everything, guys, that has happened in the last, I don't know, 20 years has been Israel. And they have gone into like damage control right now, and everybody's trying to stick up for them. I've never heard or seen so many politicians on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, interviews standing up for Israel. Never have I seen it. And this year, and even some of last year, they went into overdrive. They're also missing the point that they keep going October 7th. Why is there a campaign? It was downtown, Times Square, trucks lined up saying, always remember October 7th. Why? Why should we always remember it? That should happen over there. They're not over in Israel talking about always remember 9/11. Not at all. Not even a little bit. It's not even a conversation. But over here, There were trucks lined up. I want to say it was 10 of them. Those video screen trucks. And in the video screen trucks on all three sides, it said, always remember October 7th. Why is that? Right? So their nonsense, their propaganda has gone into overdrive. Remember the Alamo. Exactly. I'd rather remember anything else other than that. And not for nothing. If we're gonna call it the way it is, October 7th was allowed to happen by Israel. I'm not saying that the Hamas was right, because they clearly weren't. They were being savages. But when you tell savages that, hey, the gate's open and we won't have guards here, have at it. What do you think they're going to do? Obviously, those savages had at it. There were IDF soldiers who had videos in Israel. I think I saved one of them. That he went over the entire account of what happened that day. And he even said at the end, I am not buying it. We allowed it to happen. With that, Lebanon also gave them a heads up a year prior to that happening. Was it Lebanon? Lebanon gave them a heads up. Or was it Liberia? It might have been Lebanon. But they were given a heads up a year ahead of time. And the French government gave them a heads up like 6 months ahead of time. So again, we're going to call it out the way. If we're going to call it the way it needs to be called, it was allowed to happen because Benjamin Netanyahu needed a reason to go into Gaza, so he allowed that bullshit to go down. That's all it was. And the IDF soldiers, they talked about response time. They talked about the amount of security on that border. They talked about the the seismic activity things that to monitor like earthquakes, like any movement by that border. They have motion sensors, if you will. Motion sensors there as well. They had giant gates. They had guards. They had the whole 9 yards, and all of that, and they were all taken out with no radio comms about their attack. The guy fucking blew it out of the water. I was like, holy shit. And I always listen. When I heard October 7th, I knew Israel was involved, or they allowed it to happen, because I know enough about Israeli security, especially at their borders. When that happened, the red fucking flags and the antennas went up. Anyway, all of that to say, guys, is that the propaganda machine here in the United States is in full force. And the digital ID, Israel is on board with it. Now, if Israel's on board with it, that means the rest of the politicians have to be on board with it, because they're paying each politician, somebody said $7,000. I think it depends on the politician. It's going to dictate how much they get paid. But yes, roughly 7 to 10 grand these politicians are getting paid. And this is public payment in the open. People can see how much they got paid by AIPAC. Now, eventually, a lot of YouTube channels, including mine, that talk out against Israel will be deleted. That is just how it's going to be. And then I'll try to pop up to another channel until they completely get rid of me. Big Chase, yes, I heard there was a 6-hour stand-down order. It would have taken them on the fly 30 minutes to respond. Instead, it took them 6 hours. And it's funny because Charlie Kirk talked about how he doubted their response time. Because he goes, I've been to Israel. I've been on helicopters. It takes like half hour to 45 minutes to get to the edge of the border of Israel, especially where the attack happened. He goes, I don't for a second think that they didn't know this was coming. And he started changing his stance after the October 7th attack, when he started asking the right questions. And when he started asking these questions on his channel, then all of a sudden, and then, what's her name? Candace Owens was asking the same question. Now, keep in mind, guys, Candace Owens was asking the same question, and Ben Shapiro wanted her out of fucking Turning Point USA, along with a couple of other cocksucking monkeys in Turning Point USA. They wanted her out. And, of course, Charlie Kirk got her out. But when Charlie Kirk started realizing what was going on, well, all of a sudden, they had to put him down because he wanted to invite Candace Owens back. And Candace Owens dropped that bomb yesterday or the day before yesterday. Now, someone bought out 3i Atlas. talking about it. I'm going to jump into that a little later. Let me get through this. But yes, Three Eye Atlas has a bunch of weird anomalies. That's all I'm going to say. Do I think it's an alien craft? I think so. There are just too many red flags about it. And that Harvard professor is still talking about it. And in fact, he brought up a couple of new, I forgot what he said, but he brought up a couple of new issues with it. And he's like, we could learn from this, especially since it's flying by and it doesn't seem like it's going to make a U turn or turn back around. He goes, we should be able to study this thing because they're not. So one part of the media is saying it's an alien craft, another part of the media is saying it's just a comet. Comets don't react in that manner, but I do not want to get into that just yet. All right, guys. So the assets from the 87 million bank accounts that were shut down, you're going to hear two rumors. I don't know which is true. One is that the government, Vietnam government, seized all of the assets in each of these accounts. 86 million accounts, that's a lot of money. That's more than $86 million, right? I'm assuming that there's more than $1 in each account, right? So that's more than $86 million. Now, one report says that the assets in those accounts were seized and folded into the government, to their financial whatever it is. Another article says that those accounts were put on hold. They were deactivated, and then they were put on hold to people join the digital ID system, or rather, the biometric system in that country. I want to believe that one more than they seized the. Initially, when I read that they seized the accounts, I was like, "That's fucking bullshit. Why aren't they rioting?" Because they're holding their money. That's all they're doing. Did you hear 2S2 today? No, I don't know what that is. Yes, Grateful Prep NJ. I heard about that. I heard about that they're targeting people's cell phones are going in the church. Pinball talked about Trump bought technology that can track our phones as well, um, track our whereabouts. But interestingly enough, somebody called Larry Ellison. I'm going to talk about that on the Angry Truth channel. Just remember the name Larry Ellison and TikTok and Israel. Not liking where this is going, but I'll talk about that later tonight. Yes, NJ Preps. Sorry, Grateful Preps, NJ, New Jersey. Fraud's definitely going to be a lot worse with the digital ID because there's so many with digital anything. You can create the ultimate amount of fraud. You can fraud crazy on it. So yeah, it's not looking good. First last. Yes, exactly. Absolutely. But anyway, guys, so people no longer have access to their money as it's gone, and there is a consequence of not joining the digital ID program. Again, I'm not sure if the money's completely gone or on hold. I heard two different stories with that. Again, I'm thinking it's the latter, that their money is on hold and they're waiting for them to do the biometric scan, which is, if I'm not mistaken, the biometrics is the face and fingerprints and I think palm, right? So keep that in mind. Uh, the reasoning for a lot of the closures of these accounts, policy target accounts that lacked mandatory biometric verification, i.e., face or fingerprint scan, or were inactive for a long time. It is part of the government's Project 6, which seeks to implement a nationwide digital ID system and combat financial crime. Bullshit. Financial crime is going to spike with the digital ID system. Again, hackers, man, they're the fat dudes who live in the basement of their mother. They're 30, 40, 50-year old, can never get laid. They get off on the fact that they can hack in the system. Some of these guys are addicted to hacking. It's a thrill to them, right? It's like jumping out of a plane, hacking into somebody's government system and getting in and getting out without being seen or leaving a trace. That's got to be addicting, right? And there's low level punishments for that. Some people will argue that depending on the system you break into will dictate how badly in trouble you get. Right, so keep that in mind. Mrs. Ironside, they do think we're stupid. That's the problem. Um, the government will continue to lie to us and talk about combating financial crime. Now, guys, why is this pretty bad and why is this scary? Because this is coming here. Vietnam was the testing ground for this. And I think they were the testing ground on how to approach it because shutting people out of their money suddenly is going to anger a lot of people. But again, I didn't see any rioting or any, tomfoolery going on after this. So I was wondering why that happened. Now, number of accounts that were affected. Before the cleanup, Vietnam had an estimated 200 million bank accounts after the process, which roughly 113 million personal accounts remain active. Those are the people who I guess did the right did the right thing and activated their bank accounts by way of biometric verification. Biometric verification is only going to get worse. It's only going to get. I mean, like, listen, people are breaking into bank accounts now. With all of the bank's security systems and how safe your money is, they're breaking into banks and stealing shit on a daily basis from there. So yeah, man, this isn't this isn't going to make matters any better. I don't see it. I do not like this stuff, but I have to drink it. Fuck, man, it doesn't even. I mean, it tastes all right. It's not horrible. Now, contrary to some viral claims of seizure, the SBV stated that this was a cleanup, not a forfeiture of funds. Funds remain in the accounts but are inaccessible until owners complete an all in person biometric verification at the branch bank. Bingo. There you go. Well, Myrna, they're bringing facial verification recognition, excuse me, in the Amazon stores. They have the hand thing right now, but they also want to do the facial thing. So you just scan your face in the little box thing, and then you can walk out of the store, right? If you wave your hand over this device, you can purchase everything with just the palm of your hands. It reads the biometrics on your hand, fingerprints, and I guess your palm. Johnny 308, I'm drinking a protein shake. I'm not fucking happy, man. Mary Bauer says was not Israel. Mary Bauer, I bet my bottom dollar it was. She said you're sounding like a wackadoo Candace. Mary, listen. The simple fact is, you people who don't have your own brain cells, you can't think for yourself, and you do not look outside of the box, and you believe everything you're told. Israel was absolutely involved with Charlie Kirk being killed. I will bet my paycheck. Yes, Paige, I did hear that. That's why they're going on a fucking blitz right now. Paige says that Israel is losing support, but their ego won't let them lose. So I think something huge will happen. I said that last week. I think Israel's going to set some shit off. Absolutely, I would not be surprised. Um, Mary, what do you think it is? You think it's the Chinese, or is it the Lebanese? Or what about the Australians? You know what? Maybe it's the fucking pygmy people while we're at it. Let's throw all the conspiracies out there. You know, maybe it was the Willy Wonka chocolate factory workers. Maybe the Lollipop Guild. They got out of Oz and they killed Charlie Kirk. Whatever, dude. Anyway, so yeah, she says, have to subscribe now. Sad it is not Israel. You subscribing or you're unsubscribing? Because if you're unsubscribing, I think I'm going to lose sleep at night over this. I'm pretty sure I will. Please don't go. Please don't leave the Angry Prepper channel. I will miss you. I will cry 1,000 tears. Please don't leave. Anyway, so back to this bullshit. Yes, guys. So imagine suspending your money, telling you you can't even use your debit card. That's how bad it is. You can't even use your debit card. Your account was frozen. You're going to get coffee. I don't know if they drink fucking coffee there, but you're going to get coffee, and or monkey brain, right, in Vietnam, and then you want to swipe your debit card and your card is declined. You go to check your account and you're like, wait a second, I can't get in. Why is my assets frozen? But then you call the bank and they tell you, well, you didn't take part of our biometric verification system. Oh no, and then you have to go to the bank and do it in person. Yeah, listen, I don't know. When people announce that they're leaving, I don't know if it gives them some kind of like, like I'm a real G. I'm leaving this channel. I don't know. I don't know if they think I'm gonna come back groveling. Please don't leave. I'll give you a free, Amazon gift card if you stay. I don't know what people are thinking. I don't even know why people think I care that much. Whatever. I shall cry a river tonight, say some prayers, cry 1,000 tears, and watch The View because I'll be so depressed that Mary left. Oh no. What am I gonna do? Anyway, all of that, guys, this is bad. We're headed into, I don't know, very bad shit. The airport, I sort of get the biometrics on it. I sort of get that. Maybe. I don't know. I listen. I like some of the like. They have the what you call it, Clear. I like Clear. Clear got me. I will absolutely be the first to admit I sold out when Clear came about. I don't pay for it anymore, but I was paying for it. And Clear comes in handy when you go to airports like JFK. Because once you do Clear, you skip the line, man. That's what I like about Clear. The problem with Clear is that it does the biometric scan of your face and your hand. And once everybody does it, Clear is going to be obsolete. So, again, um, it has its Clear right now is great. But once everybody does it, which I don't think everybody's going to do it because you have to pay $125 a year, some shit like that. I forgot how much, or $200 a year now, I think it is. But it comes in handy when you're at the airport because you could be like super late and you get cleared, you whoop right to the front of the line. It's awesome. It's good shit. But if they get AI involved in that, then I guess I'm out. I don't know. There are some benefits to the shit that they do, and that there's no benefits to shit like this. Telling you that your money is no good, telling you that. And then here's the problem. So now you're in this verification system. You are part of the digital ID system. It grows from there, but never in our favor. This is not going to be in our favor. Initially, they're going to tell us it's going to fight crime. Then they're going to start doxing pay from your bank account, directly from your bank account. Vietnam has amazing coffee. So, Lowell, I have a Vietnamese coffee system. I didn't buy the coffee yet, but I heard the coffee was really good. So now that you said that, I'm going to order it probably tonight. But I have their system, their little like coffee drip system. I bought the whole system without the coffee, which is stupid and retarded, but whatever. Raven says, most of you aren't in tribulation, but you will be soon. Listen, Raven153, I've been hearing this shit since I was a kid. And every year is the last year for us to repent. Every year. Since I was a child. I am 48 years old. I know at some point it's going to happen, but it can't be every year. And soon, what does that mean? Next year or 50 goddamn years from now? Like when people keep saying, oh, it's going to happen soon. When? Not now, but soon. Okay, when is soon? Tomorrow? No, but soon. 50 years from now? No, soon. You guys can't keep fucking, moving the spiritual deadline. It doesn't work and it's getting old and tiresome. You can't be like, Jesus is coming. When? Tomorrow? No, soon. Okay, should I get a date? No, he'll be here soon. Jesus has been coming back soon, again, since I was a kid. So I would say in my lifetime, the last 48 years he's supposed to be here. Then God's going to come out and deal with the sinners and the what you call it, and 48 years of this shit soon. Granted, listen, it's probably going to happen. I just don't know when. You don't know when. So stop fucking saying soon because it's annoying. Ed Lee asks, what kind of coffee do we brew at the firehouse? Fucking shit. That's what we brew. We brew shit. I do I do French press on my own, but we have shit coffee. So yeah. Um, and I forgot what brand it was, but it's shit. For all the money, it's shit coffee. God forbid I and when I do the French press, guys do drink that one. They'll drink it because it's good. It's fresh. The coffee, listen, we've had some bad coffee over the years. The coffee has gotten better in the firehouse, but shit. And I'm writing soon. God. Listen, I'm just annoyed at the religious folks, and Christ is coming back and God is coming back, and you're gonna repent soon. I'm like, oh, here we go. The rapture's gonna happen soon. When? And granted, listen, we're not supposed to know the time of day of his return. And if we know that, then we should stop saying soon, because it sounds stupid and repetitive and retarded and repetitive. It's just dumb. Enough already. We'll be here soon. Yo, Blue Mountain coffee, Jamaican Blue Mountain, is good. Very expensive, but good. Yeah, I can't listen. These nuts. You can't make a statement like that, because then I go, yeah, I can't say these nuts, then say Christ is king. You know how fucking insulting that sounds? And it's funny that I just found out that saying Christ is king in Israel or around Jews is anti-Semitic. Isn't that some shit? I looked it up, and sure enough, it's anti-Semitic to say Christ is king to a Jew. I guess I'm going to get a shirt made that says that, just to offend as many people as I possibly can. Because that is my one purpose in life, to offend the weak. Anyway, Kona is also good. Krista, Kona's a shit. Kona is not as expensive as Blue Mountain. Blue Mountain is very expensive, but it's worth it. I think a pound of Blue Mountain is like $50. No, liar. Half a pound. I think it's $100 a pound, or maybe a little more than that. But yeah, when I found that out, I was like, "But why is that anti-Semitic?" It was bizarre, the most bizarre shit in the world. But anyway, so we're gonna talk about Larry Ellison, the second richest guy in the world. We're gonna talk about later tonight. Actually, we'll talk about it now, because later tonight we're actually talking about Erica Kirk and more oddities in her behavior. But Larry Ellison is the second richest man in the world. He's a heavy donator, or heavily donates to Israel. He's a heavy donator of the IDF and the Israeli Defense Fund. He, for some reason, is not Israeli, but puts a lot of his money into Israel. Raven, yes, $100 a pound, but it's worth it. If you have $50 to spare, get half a pound, and be very, very stingy with it. But anyway, he acquired TikTok. Thank you for the donation, Sage. He acquired TikTok just the other day. That deal that Trump was making with China about TikTok went to Larry Ellison. All right. Larry Ellison is now going to be collecting that data and sharing that data with the Chinese still and Israel. Benjamin Netanyahu 2 weeks ago made a statement saying that the purchase of TikTok was good for Israel. He said that in a meeting of some kind. Filmed it. It's on record of him saying that the purchase of TikTok was good for Israel. If Larry Ellison, who is not Israeli, doesn't live in Israel, if I'm not mistaken, doesn't have any dual citizenship, why is it good for Israel to have TikTok? Not good. What countries are in communication with aliens? Sage, do not know. Not sure what that means. What countries are in? You know what? I don't know. I can't. That's like a different conspiracy theory for a different day. But I'm not sure. I would say I think we are, because we might have some technology from them. But I would say us, and I don't know who else after that. But again, conspiracy theory. Don't know. Yes, first last, and then the censorship went overboard. Ryan V, exactly. Orion the Fifth, however you say your last name. Yes, Trump hated TikTok. Then all of a sudden he made this deal, and then he gave it to Larry Ellison, making all chummy chummy with the Chinese president. And then he talked about how TikTok was a spy app. We all knew this. He fucking sat there and talked about how much he despised TikTok. Then he makes this deal, allows Larry Ellison to buy it, and inside of a week or a couple days, they made sweeping changes to TikTok and started getting rid of anything that spoke out against Israel. Uh, 8 foot destroyer, thank you. 8 inch destroyer, thank you for the donation, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate the donation, man. Thank you. But yeah, so now all of a sudden he's TikTok friendly. He's a turncoat, guys. President Trump is a turncoat. Period. There's no ifs and buts about it. They must have gotten to him in between his last election or the last time he was president and now, but he's a turncoat. Everything he's doing has been against the American people. The border thing, that was about all he did for us. And after that, well, I don't trust him, man. And yes, Jimmy is right. Right. Free speech. First of all, TikTok never really had free speech, but it's even worse now. And again, it's not a coincidence that this Larry Ellison guy buys it and boom. So again, no one's listen. For everybody on here, you should be deleting your TikTok app. Delete your account. Delete all of it because he's going to be sharing that shit with Israel. Period. If everybody starts coming off of TikTok, TikTok will collapse. Then he'll probably buy YouTube, and then we're probably gonna have to come off of YouTube. But we don't need this shit. We don't need them. They need us, and that's what they continue to forget. Johnny 308, you are right. This is Trump's last hurrah, if you will. Unless something crazy happens, this is it. So he's definitely stabbing the American people in the back and twisting the knife. But anyway, back to this shit. So data is going to be shared with China and Israel, like I said. They're restricting free speech or more free speech now. Any conversation that goes against Israel in any way, shape, or form, or anything against the tiny hats in any way, shape, or form, will be deleted off TikTok. Your videos will also be demonetized if not deleted, and then eventually, I guess they'll get rid of your channel. Jimmy is right. You know what it is, man. Once you buy into the bullshit, you belong to the tiny hats. Period. This is why Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, and Nick Fuentes, at least Nick Fuentes and Candace Owens, their lives are at stake. And they both made a declaration, or rather, they both spoke about it this week, that their lives are on the line. But they're moving forward with their approach as far as what's going on with Charlie Kirk's assassination and the investigation. We're going to talk about that tonight in 10 minutes on the Angry Truth channel. Because something isn't right, guys. The way that Turning Point USA is moving forward with this whole Charlie Kirk is dead, but we're not going to ask any of the right questions. I tell you something, I better grow big ass fucking muscles with this shit. I really do. They said this is cleaner protein. Probably why it doesn't smell great. It doesn't smell bad. Whatever. People are already reporting comments are being deleted, such as Free Palestine. Videos are being deleted as well. Some videos are being demonetized, like I said earlier. Now, the whole Free Palestine shit, I don't get it. People keep the Free Palestine this, Free Palestine that. I'm like, Palestine is its own country. Palestine government right now there was something they did, the government did, And I was like, that's weird. People keep saying free Palestine, but Palestine it's its own country. What brand? I got to get the name of the protein shake, but it's by Paleo Valley, I think it is. This is bovine protein, so it's not the traditional way. It's more of a cleaner protein. Which again, I better grow huge muscles, man. The amount of working out I'm doing, I'm trying to do a weight drop again, trying to drop another 5 pounds in the next week or two, trying to get down to 245. And because I have enough muscle to spare, I can shred down. According to my buddy at the firehouse, who's a fitness freak, um, I can shred down pretty good because I have enough muscle and fat, but I have enough muscle to spare. Uh, and Emanate says Palestine has no government. Yes, they do. They absolutely do. The Palestine government gave up Gaza to Hamas during some kind of fight or battle or war they had a few years ago. They do, because I looked up the Palestinian government. You know, mate, are you one of those people that are free Palestine too? Because if you are, please, I'm not in the mood for the fucking stupidity of idiots that think that Palestine doesn't have a government. Why don't you go with the flat earthers and Charlie Kirk disappeared and didn't die, fucking people, because they have their own government. Israel is not wrecking Palestine. Israel's wrecking Gaza, and Gaza was given up by the Palestinian government. Do me a favor, do some research before you make comments like that, because you just whatever. Source just said going to gain weight. Not eating one today, I am. Bovine, like cow. Yes. If I'm not mistaken, yes. I can run and get the bag, but I'll go get the bag between the break, and I'll get you guys what it is exactly. Trying to dry fast next week, nice. I was gonna do the water fast. Try it while I'm off of work, obviously. I mean, yeah, it's hard to do it at work. Ed Lee, I do steak and eggs before my workout. So I'll do like a bullshit old man workout, and then I'll do steak and eggs. And today I ate around 2 o'clock. I had a nice steak and 5 eggs, and that was it for the day. That was it for the night. And then I'm having this as like a meal supplement. That should be fine. Oh, in a mate. Sorry, I didn't know you were a lady. How am I supposed to know that with your name? That's such a like a gender neutral name. I wouldn't know. Yeah, but I'm not drinking alcohol. Comment Moon, thank you for the 7 minutes left. Appreciate it. Um, Mike Hawk said, "Give me 2 months and I'll take the weight off you." Okay. Grateful Preps, you must have been sipping the Kool Aid too long, man. But yes, they have their own government, and they might not be a country, but neither is the stolen land of Israel. So let's stop with the bullshit. Trump is not doing anything for the American people, and you're going to see that within the next year or two. I promise you, next year or 2 years from now, Grateful Preps NJ, you're going to be like, we fucked up. Guarantee it. You're not paying attention to what Trump is doing. Your head's so far up his ass, I'm pretty sure you're licking his fucking stomach lining. You need to stop. Um, because that man is not doing anything for this country that's fucking going to benefit us. Absolutely not. And he still stands by his arm ticket bullshit too. So where him and RFK are having a falling out now is with that bullshit. Apparently they're having a falling out. I think RFK is trying to keep his head low and quiet, but they're having a falling out. Water Tiger, you don't need to lose any more weight. I do. I'm 252. I got to get down to 230, 235, and that's going to be my playground. 5 pounds in both directions. Right. So once I hit 230, I got to 235, and after 235, I have to check myself again, and then stay within there. But yeah, man, you people that are still up Trump's ass, you guys got to stop licking his nutsack. Seriously, enough already. It's fucking bizarre that people are fucking licking his dick that way. Five, oh god, I can't pronounce it. Five's out. Thank you for the donation. Appreciate the donation. I mean, listen, people who are up Trump's ass or Biden or Kamala Harris. When Kamala Harris was running, Kamala Harris is the greatest person in the world. She could do no wrong. She was an angel. Biden wasn't sick. He's just a little old, but he's not sick and demented. You guys got to stop licking these politicians' ballsack. Enough already. People are sucking fucking Benjamin Netanyahu's dick like it's a straw. People were up. What's his name? Putin's ass too. Putin's a great president. He would lead this country better than Obama. You fucking communist piece of shit. Enough already. Stop fucking putting your belief systems and everything else in politics or politicians. Politicians are wrecking this country. And yet you fucking people keep thinking that Trump is the one. You guys really got to stop gargling cum. I'm serious. It's destroying your brain cells, man. Like, enough already with this shit. You people like, oh, Trump is so great. And listen, man, you could disagree, but it's everything he's doing right now. The shutdown, for example, though the shutdown it's a two-party thing. He said some fucked up shit the other day or today. He said that some of the federal workers or government workers shouldn't get back pay. You piece of shit. You're fucking the government is shut down because of the Democrats and Republicans. These people continue to get paid and they have a nice fucking paycheck going for them. The people who work for the federal system, whether you disagree with them or not, whether you like them or not, is irrelevant. They're American citizens that are working a job. They're listening to either the President of the United States or some asshole and they're following orders. That's all they're doing. But to sit there and say that these people deserve to get fired, you're a piece of shit. Because they're fucking workers like every last one of you guys out there listening to some asshole telling them what to do. Do they want to do it? Some of them are doing it, open armly, and some of them are like, fuck it, this is my job. Trump, and thank you, Farm Dog. Trump made a deal with Pfizer. How fucking honest is that? You seriously need to take your dick out of his ass. Seriously. Uh, Grateful Prep NJ. If you think Trump's doing a great job, I don't know what to tell you, man. You're delusional because he's not doing a great job. As of right now, everything is somewhat copacetic, but it's not going to be for long. Anyway, man, you'll see. All I'm gonna say is you'll see. The backwards deal, the shit that he's doing right now is not good. The deal he made with Pfizer, not fucking good. They were talking about releasing more arm tickets. How's that fucking good? The TikTok deal, not in our interest. That's selling out information to Israel and China. But anyway, man, you believe what you want. Stop sucking his dick. That's all I'm going to say. You guys got to stop sucking politicians' dick. People are up AOC's ass. She's doing a great job. Where? Where the fuck is she doing a great job? They thought fucking Biden, not Biden, what's his name? De Blasio here in New York was doing a great job. You fucking people are delusional. Either you right-wing nut jobs or you liberal left-leaning cunts. You guys are fucking delusional. You guys got to stop this bullshit. And the fact that these federal workers are losing their jobs, they don't have fucking pay because these assholes can't get along, can't be on the same fucking page. So it's all right for federal workers to lose money and not get paid, but politicians are still getting paid. You guys are cocksuckers of America for thinking that's okay. Anyway, guys, this is the Angry Prepper. I will see some of you homos later on the Angry Truth channel. The rest of you guys, I will probably see next week. I will not have another doubleheader for the rest of the week because I'll be at work working like a slave because that's what we do. Anyway, guys, see you later.